All right, good morning, everyone. Just want to welcome you to James Baldwin Place. This is super, super exciting for me as the director of HSH. This is our very first recovery housing for people who've experienced homelessness. And I just want to mark this occasion. I want to thank Mayor Lurie for his leadership on this. He has promised bold change, and this is one example of that bold change. We're going to be able to serve people who want to be able to live in recovery with other people who are like-minded and want to live in recovery and who don't want to be among the chaos that sometimes exists in our housing. I really want to thank Salvation Army, particularly Steve, for working so closely with us. Thank you, Steve. And I also want to thank Westside. Cedric has been a wonderful partner, and all of the other folks at Westside. We really love the work that you two do together and the model that you have. And I think the neighbors are going to love it, as well as the people living here, and that's really important. I also want to thank our HSH staff for helping pull this together. This has been a long time coming, and it's been a lot of work, and we've had to go back and forth because this is a different model, right? So we're still going back and forth. But we're going to make it work together, and I think that's the really important thing. So I don't want to take up too much time here. I just want to thank everybody. Looking forward to coming back in a couple of months and seeing this fully operational. And I want to turn it over to Mayor Lurie for his words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Truly it is, because we are here to mark a major step forward in a building and in the belief that recovery is possible. When people who are experiencing homelessness work hard on their sobriety, we must do everything in our power to support them. With the opening of the James Baldwin Place, we are acting to solve one of the most pressing challenges our city faces: the dual crisis of homelessness and addiction. Every day, I see it, we all see it. I see the toll this crisis takes on our residents and our neighborhoods. I also see the strength of those fighting, struggling and striving to make a better life for themselves. When someone makes the decision to get sober, that moment matters. That effort deserves respect, support, and real resources. James Baldwin Place is for them. James Baldwin Place offers 54 units of safe, stable housing to people exiting homelessness and addiction. And it surrounds them with a recovery-focused community that supports long-term stability. With our Breaking the Cycle plan, we've already expanded treatment beds, launched 24/7 stabilization services, and overhauled our street outreach model. Today, with the opening of James Baldwin Place, we are adding another vital tool to our response: a sober transitional housing program that meets people where they are and helps them take the next step forward. This project reflects not only the priorities of this administration, but the values of this city: compassion, accountability, and a belief that people deserve a second chance. You've heard me say it before. You can't solve what you can't see. That's why I'm walking the streets of our city every day. And what I see clearly is the need for recovery housing, places where people can rebuild their lives with dignity and structure. I want to thank our incredible partners, Westside Community Services, the Salvation Army, and the many city departments and leaders who have brought this vision to life. Your work is changing lives. Thank you. And here's a message to every San Franciscan in recovery or trying to get there. You are not alone. You have a community behind you, and James Baldwin Place is just the beginning of what we're building together. Thank you, and let's go San Francisco.
Thank you, Mayor Lurie. Thank you for your leadership and for your words. So I would now like to introduce you to Cedric Akbar. For those of you who don't know, I think everybody knows Cedric. Cedric is the Director of Forensic Services at Westside Community Services and will be leading the operations here at James Baldwin Place. So please give a hand for Cedric.
All right, it's a great day in the morning as we continue through San Francisco on another journey. And today we're not merely opening a building today, we're opening doors to new beginnings and fresh starts for people's lives. And I want to thank Mayor Daniel Lurie for Breaking the Cycle initiative, which with him, HSH, the community at large, have been working together with the recovery community, again, the recovery community leading this charge in order to restore and bring people's lives back to safety in San Francisco. And this project is not just a facility. It's a commitment to our community to make our streets and our people feel safer and feel warm and secure. And we're going to do that through responsibility. Together, we're not just providing housing at all. We're providing a place for a person to be after they leave treatment and to be in a permanent situation until they can afford to be in a place in San Francisco. Now, the rebuilding of this city is going to take a process, and we all know that. And together we can do it collectively. But we have to chip away piece by piece until we accomplish the masterpiece of God's grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Cedric. So Cedric and his team will not be doing this all by themselves, but rather in partnership with the Salvation Army. Please join me in welcoming Steve Adami, the Executive Director of The Way Out at the Salvation Army. Steve.
Thank you, Shireen. First, I'd like to congratulate Mayor Lurie and Director McSpadden on launching the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing's first abstinence-based program to support the housing needs of adults in recovery. I'd also like to thank Westside Community Services, Cedric Akbar, and Craig Johnson for including the Salvation Army in this project. You know, San Francisco's drug and homeless crisis and overdose epidemic is impacting everyone. Families, businesses, children, tourists, and most importantly, people who are struggling with addiction. Over the last 5 years, we've lost nearly 4,000 San Franciscans to overdose, with a large percentage of those happening in government-funded sites. Today, we're opening more than just a building. We're opening up a new path to lasting recovery, where the James Baldwin Place will serve as a symbol of hope for people living on our streets and addicted to drugs. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here, and congratulations to Craig, who's going to be running this facility. Our partnership over the last several years has been amazing.
Thank you, Steve. And as HSH moves forward with new recovery-focused programs, we are leaning on the guidance and expertise of the recovery community. And at the heart of the recovery community, and somebody who's been a real advocate for recovery housing since he took office, is your District 6 Supervisor, Matt Dorsey. So we're now going to hear from Supervisor Dorsey.
Thank you, Shireen, and welcome to District 6, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3 years ago this month, I was appointed to the Board of Supervisors and almost immediately had to start running, asking voters for the chance to have 4 years to do some work that was really important and really close to my heart. When I was appointed, I said right out of the gate, I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and that's the reason I'm asking for this job. These issues made politics personal to me in a way that nothing in politics had been personal before. Now, launching one's political career by emphasizing everything I have done to screw up my career isn't a playbook that's out there much. And I'll be honest, when I went out there talking about it, not everybody understood me, but the recovery community did. And to this day, I am continually inspired by the people who come up to me and tell me about their journey or their struggle to get into recovery or how many years they have clean and sober, or telling me about a loved one who hopefully is struggling with addiction, but hopefully is starting to find their way to recovery. And then too often, I hear stories about people, loved ones, that we were rooting for to get in recovery who didn't find it in time. I think for all of us, this is really personal, but to me, the promise of recovery housing and recovery projects like this is that it's taking people who are really struggling and putting them into the arms of a community of brothers and sisters and non-binary siblings who understand what addiction and alcoholism is and who will be there for one another. That is the miracle of recovery, that we get to keep this by giving it away. This is a moment where I think we're going to see our recovery community in San Francisco rise to the moment, and we're going to help save these lives. I want everybody who's from the recovery community who's here today, a couple of whom I've partied with, I'll be honest, but it's amazing to talk, to see each other and just understand the miracle of where we are today, and to know that, God forbid, if I relapse, I know that there's people in this room who are going to be there for me, who are going to save other people's lives, and that is going to be the miracle of everything that we're doing. Mayor Lurie was right when he talked about the values of this city. I understand, and I think for a lot of people here who are in recovery, the decision to get clean and sober is a really difficult and lonely one. It requires a lot of courage, a lot of soul searching. But the thing that I heard in a drug program once that really resonated with me, and I think Mayor Lurie gave voice to this today, that you alone must do this, but you will never do this alone. Not in the city of St. Francis, and not under the leadership of Mayor Lurie, and not as long as I'm on the Board of Supervisors. Thank you all, everybody from the recovery community. Thank you, Westside. Thank you, Salvation Army. Thank you, Positive Directions Equals Change. Thanks all for being here.
Thank you, Supervisor Dorsey. And that concludes. We have what? Oh, sorry. Is that on my notes? Sorry. Okay, so we now have Destiny Pletch, who's going to say a few words from Salvation Army. Sorry about that.
Hi, good morning, everyone. The feeling in here is palpable that change is on the horizon in San Francisco. And for too long, and I think we can often agree, that sometimes we have left people behind on the streets and have kept them entrapped in the cycles of addiction and homelessness. But the James Baldwin Place marks a new day where we are actually incentivizing people to change and providing a clear pathway for people to actually do it. This is a commitment from the City and County of San Francisco to believe in people who are taking the hard decision, the difficult journey to rebuild their life after addiction. And I'm so proud to be working in partnership with Westside Community Services, Positive Directions Equals Change, Cedric and Craig, along with so many others in the recovery community to see this program come to fruition. It's been a long change. And I want to say a special thank you to the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, because we are challenging the status quo with this program. And it's an important step that we challenge our own belief systems. So I want to say thank you to Mayor Daniel Lurie for believing in the recovery community, for Supervisor Dorsey for spearheading us, and for everyone to be a part of this energetic moment. Thank you.
Destiny, thank you so much. Thanks again to Salvation Army and to Westside. And that does conclude our this portion of our announcement today. I think we have a few minutes for questions. We do. Okay. So if anybody has questions, there are people up here who are here to answer them. And yes.
Hi, thank you for your work. How did people get started in applying to the James Baldwin?
Come see me.
Come see Craig. So basically, there are ways that people can get in, and if you come see Craig, he can tell you how to get into the program or tell other people how to get into the program. The other way is to go through the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, and we can help direct you. And Lisa, right behind you, can tell you how that works. So, thank you. And I think we have, if we don't have any more questions, we do have a tour of one of the rooms that people can take. And who's going to be leading it? Room 114. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!